minus 10 minutes. Minus 9 minutes. Minus 8 minutes. Minus 7 minutes. Minus 6 minutes. minus 5 minutes. Minus for minutes. Minus 3 minutes. Minus 2 minutes. Minus 1 minute. Stand by.
Hey everybody, and we're back, and I just have these stupid headphones on to make sure that the microphone is clear and it's not making me sound flatty. And it does not. So I thought we would do something different today. You would think that as somebody raised by British-born family members, my brother and I were born in Canada, but my grandparents were English immigrants with very strong British accents, and my dad claims that he's Canadian, and I suppose he technically is, but he still has British affectation and has a little bit of an accent, I would say. Maybe. And certainly some of my uncles do. And so, it seemed only appropriate that we would play football. To North Americans, this is known as soccer. I don't really think traditional football should be called football because you throw it, you don't really do anything with your foot other than kick it, whereas this game is primarily with the foot. That having been said, I was always terrible at football, and consequently probably makes me a failure as a second or third generation British person. But that's okay. I'm first generation Canadian and I suck at hockey because I actually can't skate. So, we'll just disappoint all generations in my performance with this game. So let's try this. Honestly, a lot of these sports games, I don't fucking get it. The only game that I can follow and know what the fuck is going on is Blades of Steel on the NES, so... Okay. Japanese league with a Mexico flag. That makes sense. Sure. Why the fuck not? I don't actually know any of these. I actually don't know any of these teams at all. I'll pick one that has the most interesting logo. That'll work. I know what the fuck is going on. Jubilo and Gamba. Easy, normal, hard. Like it's gonna make a fucking difference for me. It will not make a difference. Won't make one goddamn bit of difference at all. Why do sports games have so many menus? I want to kick the damn ball. Well, konnichiwa to you too. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. That me? No, it's not me. Stupid fucking ball. I'll blame the ball. That's what we'll do. We'll just blame the ball. That'll solve all the problems, I think. Maybe it would help if I... Fuck you, dude. No! Take the ball, you dipshit! Ow! Well, that was an epic fail. That actually brought us nowhere near where we wanted to be. That sucks. Let's see if we can fare marginally better. I don't need to see a replay of my abject failure. We're not watching some goddamn game tape. We're going to see this properly is what we're going to do. Oh, okay. I kicked it out of bounds. Kick the ball, dipshit. Guy's in yellow. And he's kicking the ball. And then this ball winds up over here. And then this ball winds up over here. And then I've got this ball. And then I'm kicking it the wrong fucking way. This is, honestly, this is like high school. I'm just sitting here wiping up while this dipshit takes the goddamn ball. And then this dipshit takes the ball. Well, okay, that was something. Whatever that was, if it was good, I'll take credit for it. And if it wasn't me and it was an accident, then it's not my fault. This is easy mode. Fail. Well, I'll give it this much. At least I can actually follow who the fuck I am. That's okay. I am okay with being able to follow who I am. Now, on the flip side of that, is there a way I can get to this ball faster? Because this guy keeps taking the ball, and then I'm just not getting anywhere with it. I find this highly disappointing. Yeah, 0-2. 2-zip. That's even more disappointing than Game 6 with the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. No, don't kick it there, you moron. Moron being me. Okay, well, at least I'm passing to the right person. We'll just finish it by kicking it entirely off the field. You're a failure as a British person if you play football like this. Yeah? Well, you should see me play hockey. I'm an equal opportunity failure. I hold no quarrel with any of the... Take the ball, man! You know what would make football more interesting? Having fights. Like hockey, you should just be able to beat the shit out of somebody. It's my ball, you fucking douche nozzle. Hit him in the head. I bet you I could shove that ball so far up your ass, your head'll inflate. Is there a better way to intercept? I don't know what's worse. Failing when you don't know what the fuck is going on in the game, or failing when you know what's going on in the game and you just can't make the player do what you want. Apples and oranges, brah. Apples and oranges. All right, man. No, don't kick it to the other guy on the other team, you fucking retard. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Take ball, kick other side. No. Now. I think that's marginally better. Is that marginally better? Is it? Is it really? Give me the ball. No, don't kick it over there. I don't even know what color my goalie is. Oh, okay. So my side is red. Wouldn't it be easier to just have the goalie the same color as the rest of the players? I mean, we know they're the goalie. Why do we need to give them a special color? We already know they're special. They're holding the fucking ball. There we go. There we go. No! Baby blue dipshit douche nozzle fucking bonehead. No, my ball, man. I can't believe I actually intercepted that ball. Kick the ball, fuckface. There we go. Take the ball and brings the balls the other way. No. Move the other way. Sanesh. I don't know what he was saying. But whatever it is, I'll have to ask Dave what that means because I don't fucking know. Oh. No! I had such a nice save. Wow, this is a close game. 5-0. Yeah, replay. Rub it in, why don't you? I'm on an athlete's diet, man. Chocolate and booze. Ah! Bloody hell. Takes the path. Takes the path. Gimme! That wasn't quite what I wanted to do. Take the stupid ball and put the stupid ball in the stupid place that I didn't want it to stupid go. Haha. Take that, loser. While I kick the ball, like, off the field. Lost time. Well, the failures are getting far more efficient as things progress in the main area of this game, such as it is. How many goals has my team scored under my expert tutelage? You'll be happy to know that the answer is 0. Even while he's wearing his frilly blue pants. And, yeah. That's what happens when you try to put the ball in my net, yo. 3:20. 47:53. Not an expert at football, but I am going to guess that those numbers are what would be widely and scientifically considered not good. Sure, why not? Why the fuck not? We'll try another one. Could we do any better than this? Probably not. But that's okay. That's okay. He takes the ball, and then he fails with the ball, and then he can't do anything with the ball at all. It's going nowhere. Other way. We are directionally challenged in apparently more ways than one. We don't want this. No, we don't want this. Take this ball and provide rapid succession on the Sea of Failure. Yes, the Sea of Failure continues on this field in the beautiful Japan. I don't know what city this is in. Are we home field? Because I can't read. I must say that in this language I am largely illiterate. I know a little bit due to martial arts, but am I fluent? No. Kick, no! Over there, moron. No, on the other way. No. Oh, there we go. So much for stopping it. Ah. Six nothing. This is a close game, isn't it? You gotta say, this is a close game. My microphone is getting a little freestyle here. I just want to make sure that it sounds okay. Does this microphone still sound good? Yes, it does. Sibilance. I'm actually surprised, given where it's pointed. Kick the ball. Take the ball and kick it. Take the ball and kick it. I'll tell you where to stick it. Stick it in the net and you... Oh. Fuck. That didn't go the way that I wanted. This might be a crazy observation, but I am going to hazard a guess that I am not going to get any better at this particular game. However, it is accurate in that I did not play football any better in real life than I'm playing here. Run, purple-shirted twit! Oh, I did a nice save there. Does it make a damn bit of difference? In the words of the late, great Harlan Ellison, fuck no! Well, this is a fine, upstanding example of some grade A Alberta cow shit. Hey, that was not bad that I did. Didn't make a bit of difference, but it looked cool. Moreover, if it were executed in a manner that actually provided some success in terms of the game, it might have actually meant something. But besides that, it is simply a self-congratulatory, self-masturbatory, useless piece of digital motion capture trivia from the 90s. Kick it the other way, dipshit. There we go. Other way. Yeah, kick. Kick ball. Take ball, kick other side fence. Go. Doodle. What? Oh, okay. I was like, I can't go there. It's out of bounds. No, 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 no. It's mine. Chansu. I don't know what that means. What does it mean? I don't know what it means. Okay, I'm doing a marginally better with passing. Oh, fuck off, moron. The moron that's doing better than me while I kick the ball in the wrong side, in the wrong place, in the wrong area. Why are they just standing there? There's no women on this field. Do 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 do. Other side of the field. No. No 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 no. There we go. Nope. Nope. Do I not have anybody defensively on the other side of this field? There we go. Kick the ball. Nope, 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 no! My ball. My ball. No, don't kick it over there. No! God, these guys have about as much coordination on my team as oil and shit. Oh, yeah, kick it out of bounds. That's a great idea. That's really going to help win the game. Oh, hey, at least I'm playing like a Canadian in FIFA. They come out with like an M&M package like every 5 years when we make like the first lowest level round. It's like, hey, cheer on Team Canada in FIFA. Oh, wait, they're already out by the time the M&Ms come out. We are not a football country. Gridiron, sure. What you would call American football. However, this is not, ladies and gentlemen, what I would consider a proper, excellent, or even moderately proficient level of play. No, don't go the other way. Come on, run. Grab the ball, you uncoordinated piece of dog shit. Now. Sanayush. I'm sure I said it wrong. But what difference does it make? I'm also playing wrong. Urgh. At least I can save. Man, those goalies can whip that fucking ball, man. Take the ball, you fucking bullshit. Is there nobody else on the side of this field? Like, where the hell are all my defensemen? Like, they're all sitting here going, hey, I wonder what they're serving beer on top. Not your fucking draft. Hey, guess what? You played so effectively, you're a prime candidate for free agency, fuckface. Yes. That was a highly disappointing display. Ugh. We'll try another game. And then we'll try another game. I don't know what this says, so looks good to me. One player versus the CPU. We'll take the blue team, and we'll take the pink team. Liga. A faster stage. Fortunately, his English is no better than my Japanese. The music is so happy for failure. We were not informed of such a failure. We must work quickly to disrupt all communications down there. Yeah. Kick the goddamn ball, you talking in front of Mike person. Take the ball. That's not me. He's on the wrong side of the field, man. Blue. Wow. What the fuck was that? I don't know what the hell that was, but... O'Houlihan thinks he's playing dodgeball, but sadly is not playing dodgeball and is playing on the Japanese League, a game of his own invention and of which all the other players have no clue. I thought we were here playing football, but apparently we are playing Calvin ball. We can't be having such things. Wow. Yeah. That wasn't very good, was it? That was highly disappointing. Oh. I get the ball. Not a whole lot of control, really. Okay, I think that's quite enough of that. Hello everybody, we are going to try some different games. That other game did not quite work, and this chair is kind of fucked up here. Ugh. Featuring virtual what? Virtual wrestling? Cool. And Vector Man 64 has finally joined us on the chat. Okay, so this is sort of WWE style, but in Japan. Okay. Let's start 1P mode. 1P mode. I don't know who this guy is. Prologue? Why do you need a prologue for wrestling? This makes absolutely no sense. Holy War? Come on, man. It's wrestling. Give me a fucking break. Let me just make sure that my microphone is not turning weird here. Is it still clear? Yes, it is. Just got back from watching sprint cars about 20 minutes north of me. That's pretty cool, man. Da, 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 da. Button, I want to play. I don't want to watch cutscene. Start. I can kick? This is sort of like retarded jiu-jitsu kind of. Oh, that's nice. This is sort of an Aikido-esque. Ow. The guillotine choke. Ow. Throws. Chokes. Oh, that didn't quite go the way I wanted. Get up, Tubby. I was doing a little better than this. Ah, there we go. That's the way we gotta do it. Ow! Tilk, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, my dog caused me to lose the match. That was legitimate. You all heard it. Tilk, it's okay. It's okay. Ow! Tilk, it's okay. It's just retards and fireworks. Canada Day isn't until Monday. Ow. Tilk, we get it. Yes, we get it. Tilk, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. There we go. Tilk, it's okay. Okay. Tilk, it's okay. Ah. Yeah, I'd say people are getting the pre-celebration going, but I'm sort of in the close to the hood, but not quite in the hood. So every fucking weekend, there's idiots doing fireworks in the park a couple of blocks away from me. It just so happens that it's an excuse. And the dog does not like fireworks. Can't really blame him, because he thinks they're gunshots, and there are sometimes gunshots around the area where I am. It's on the edge of a relatively high crime area. I mean, mostly petty kind of drug deals and that kind of stuff, but there's a reason that I train jiu-jitsu 4 times a week. I mean, you can kind of go about your business during the day, but I mean, you do want to kind of be mindful around here, because you get a lot of desperate people. You get a lot of meth heads and stuff, and sometimes they'll just come right up to the car. Like, it, you know, it's Regina. It's... Ah! I did something like that in class the other day. Ah, that fucking sucks, man. Oh. Tap, man. You gotta tap. Oh, I didn't mean to get out of it. I wasn't crying uncle. It was kind of fun. Migrants. I would love to say, I don't know, just you get a lot of petty drug dealers around here and stuff. All stripes, man. White, black, First Nations, Chinese, Japanese, take your pick. No. And honestly, it's pretty equal. In fact, I would say most of the, a good chunk of them are people that were basically born here. For the most part, the immigrants don't seem to get involved in that shit. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's weird. It's a long story. It's tough because there's a lot of issues. You have a lot of First Nations, like second, third generation from the 60s sweep. If you look up 60s sweep on YouTube, if you look up 60s sweep on Wikipedia, it'll tell you a lot. But it typically tends to be, frankly, white people, and then you have a lot of First Nations, Indigenous people that get caught up in it, which is usually kind of an unfortunate aftermath of the 60s sweep. But there are not a lot of immigrants that get involved in the drug trade around here. If there are, it's usually people of countries where there's already gangs, so they typically tend to be Asian type gangs and that sort of thing. A lot of the issues in Regina and Saskatchewan tend to be trafficking related, and then the drug trade is part of that. I mean, the cops do what they can about it, but it's an uphill battle. So you've got the RCMP trying to deal with it, and the Regina Police trying to deal with it, and then various other municipal police forces dealing with it. Yeah, Indigenous Canadians. Not all. It's just, it's easier for some Indigenous Canadians to get caught up in it because you already have the sort of intergenerational issues of the 60s sweep, right? In the 60s, you had a lot of Indigenous Canadians that were taken from their homes through no fault of their own. They were basically told they could not practice their culture. There was a lot of abuse. They would send them to Catholic schools and were sexually abused and killed, and it was pretty horrible. It's starting to get better, but you've got 2 or 3 generations of people that, and there's a lot of racism here as well. It's really unfortunate. It's complicated. I mean, you've got a bunch of people that were legitimately wronged, and then they do what they can to survive. And then you get a spectrum of that. But then you also get a lot of racism from white people here, too, that are like, oh, well, you know, Indigenous, they should get a job and whatever, and they're oblivious to the idea that, you know, frankly, in the case of the 60s sweep, the white people kind of caused the problem, did cause the problem. So it's sort of a clusterfuck all the way through. It's really sad. But what's cool is now there's a lot of improvement that's going on. So we've got radio stations that are in Cree and Algonquin and Dene, and people are fluently speaking Indigenous First Nations languages, and the culture's starting to come back as well it should. And so there's a lot of good stuff happening too, but you can't undo that kind of abuse overnight. Yeah, it's interesting. The area that I'm in now is not very French. There's very, very few Francophones that live here in Saskatchewan. There are some, and I'm a transplant. I'm from out east, so I grew up in I grew up near Ottawa in what we would call the Outaouais. So I speak French, and there is some, but I honestly found there was a lot more racism here than there was in Ontario. I mean, there's some, but you generally don't get this kind of, like if you go to, say, Akwesasne and so on, like on the New York border, like Belleville, like, you know, close to, you know, and that Ottawa, Kingston, Thousand Islands corridor going into Ogdensburg, New York, and so on. There's a lot less racism there. Here it's a lot more blatant. But there's lots of racism in French-speaking areas. It is not a politically correct area. Believe you me, and I did a lot of French language stuff for a long time, and I speak both, so fluently. I need to get my game up here. Okay, that wasn't bad. So are we going to get a submission here? It's weird because some of this stuff is sort of jiu-jitsu-esque. Like some of these throws are judo / jiu-jitsu-esque. Like some of these are pretty much almost ipase nage kind of throws. Then you get some of these kind of twists that are sort of aikido-esque, like wrist locks and things like that. That position, we're right here, we do that like an underhook and an overhook. I mean, we do that in jiu-jitsu all the time. All the time. So there's a little bit of grip fighting here. And then there's like, that's called that sort of choke / grip is a Yeah, that one there where the left hand goes underneath the neck and then the other one the right hand goes over the head. That is called a guillotine choke or a guillotine grip, which is a legal and accurate jiu-jitsu grip. I mean, this is wrestling, but there's a lot of overlap here. Quite a bit. Actually, it's very interesting seeing these mechanics because it's like, this is, I guess, Japanese wrestling, so you would get a lot of historical, jiu-jitsu, traditional jiu-jitsu, and so on. Yeah, I would agree with you. At the same time, I feel the term racism has been so overused. When I say racism, just for clarity, I mean people that deliberately do not like somebody from another race and are deliberately targeting somebody because they believe that anybody of that particular race is a problem. So when I agree with you. So when I refer to racism, I'm talking about people that, say in Saskatchewan, they will literally turn around and say, oh, Native people are all bums and they're all this and they're all that and all they do is steal and all they do is drink and whatever. It is a one ethnic group that is saying stuff about blanket stuff about another ethnic group and not considering the individual. But I agree with you. I mean, especially up here in Canada, anybody that doesn't, they just go, oh, you're a racist, when really what they mean is I don't like what you said or I'm offended or whatever, regardless of whether or not it is legitimate or not. I'm getting my ass kicked here. There we go. Fuck me. Oh, there we go. No, that's not good. That was me. Really? This guy's gonna basically try and fuck me over in side control? That's fine. That's fine. We got another match to do. How much chocolate do I have left? I think I only have one. I ate all my chocolate. I want to finish my chocolate. And I have to open my booze. Friday night is my cheat day. I keep my calories capped during the week for training. And then Friday's my cheat day. So I have my booze and my chocolate, and I eat properly the rest of the week for training, for jiu-jitsu or whatever. Put these away. I should get Hershey's to sponsor me. Booze and chocolate in moderation. Life is good. And now it's a different story. Yeah. I mean, and nobody wants to admit it either. Like, you get people that come here, they have no interest or respect for the culture, and then they know that they're not going to get called out on it. And so they start disrespecting the country that they've moved to, and nobody will turn around and say anything because they'll be branded as racist. Like, most countries, like in Indonesia or Japan or whatever, if you go there and you're rude, nobody's going to give a shit. They're going to be like, you know what? You don't like it? Leave. Whereas I find we get, yeah. And and the other thing is it hurts people that come to Canada or the United States that are genuinely trying to learn the culture and want to be part of it, and then all the people that don't wind up making it difficult for the people that are trying to, because then they have to deal with all the blowback of the people that don't do that, because misbehavior or negative behavior is far more visible than behavior that is positive. People tend to remember a slight a lot longer and a lot more vividly than they remember something positive. Something negative seems to have 5-10 times the strength. Hate speech laws make that a significant problem. Yeah, it does. A lot of the issues, particularly as somebody that studies law and is eventually going to finish up my Juris Doctor, the difficulty is the vagueness of the language of the laws, right? They can be interpreted quite a bit. I think the language needs to be tightened up with stronger definitions. And that goes particularly for Canada and the United States as well. And it differs from state to state, and it differs from, well, at least in Canada, that's generally federal. But provinces generally tend to have a lot less power federally than in the United States, where individual states tend to have a lot more autonomy over a lot more things. So, for example, the criminal code, like the criminal law in the United States, can vary quite a bit from state to state, as opposed to Canada, where law is administered federally. There is one criminal code. It is administered federally. It is based on British law, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It keeps everything under one area, but maybe some regionalization would be good. But in the United States, you have all these. You have the state court, and then you have your basically this type of court and your appellate court and whatever, both for civil and then you have some stuff like, for example, an assault can be tried both civilly or as a criminal offense, as opposed to here, it's strictly criminal. You punch somebody in the head, you wind up in criminal court. You fuck somebody up really badly, then you might wind up in a sort of what they call victim services and might have to pay some damages. But there isn't a criminal court and a civil court for. You can't sue somebody, take the option to sue somebody for assault, say. In some cases, you can go for damages, but for basically any kind of physical assault is considered a criminal offense, and it's not handled as a tort. The other thing about the way there's a couple of other. There's a lot of differences between the Canadian or the British, the Commonwealth system, and the American system. So even with torts and civil stuff, there's differences. Here's a good example. Let's take libel/slander, right? Spreading falsehoods about somebody. In the United States, let's say I turn around and I spread a rumor about you that, I don't know, you're a pedophile or you beat up old people or you're an elder abuser or whatever. Just like we'll just pick some made up thing. And I decide that, or you decide that you're going to sue me for spreading that falsehood. In the United States, the onus is on, if you basically put that forward as a lawsuit, even in northern states, the onus, if you file a suit, a libel or a slander suit for falsehoods, the onus is on the person that brought the suit to prove that the person did it. Right? So let's say I say something false about you, you sue me. The onus is on me to disprove. The onus is on you to basically prove that I did it. So if you bring the suit in the United States, you basically have to prove to the court that I did these false things. Whereas in the Commonwealth system, so England, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, etc., It's actually the reverse. So it's sort of a guilty until proven innocent. So if you bring a suit against me, you have no burden of proof to meet. I actually have to prove the assumption is that you are correct as the person that brought the suit. And my job, I have to actually prove that I didn't do those things. So it's actually the reverse, which is kind of interesting. I think as far as torts and civil type stuff is concerned, in that particular case, I think the American system is better. If you decide that you're going to file suit against somebody for a falsehood, I think the onus should be on you as the person that brings the suit to prove that the person did it, right? Because you're the one that's saying, hey, man, you lied about me diddling little boys or little girls or saying that, you know, I killed or that I did all these awful things or whatever. I think that the American system in that particular case is the right system. If you choose to bring forward a motion or a suit for an alleged civil wrongdoing, then the onus should be on you to prove that. But under the Commonwealth system, it doesn't work that way. So there's other key differences as well in the way the systems go. And I mean, no system is perfect. You know, every system has their pros and cons. The legal system is not perfect. I had a colleague that used to say, the law is not perfect, but it works more than it doesn't, which I think is true. You know, because you can't be 100% correct all the time. But if you are going to have a democratic system in practice and or theory, then you need to have, British law sucks if you know what is happening to the indigenous British. Ooh, I know what's happening to the indigenous British. So I don't know if I ever told you this. So my brother and I were born in Canada, but my grandparents are British, and my dad was basically, I don't know if he was born on the plane, but basically my dad is British. I mean, my grandmother, when they moved to Canada. So my brother and I were born here in Canada, but everybody else in my family basically pretty much all have, for the most part, British accents. So it was an interesting upbringing. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's fucked that's going on in England. And I mean, our system is, like, we're a Commonwealth country, right? So we take all that fucked up, passive-aggressive British shit that goes along with it. And my dad would turn around, and I used to give my dad shit. He would say, oh, well, you know, we're Canadian, we're not British. It's like, okay, then question, Dad, why is it that at 4 o'clock out comes the cart and all the snacks and the teas and the coffees, and, oh, well, that's just something we do. It's like, bullshit. Nobody else goes at exactly 4 o'clock. A cart must come out with tea and snacks and cakes and stuff like that. Oh, well, it's a complete coincidence. Fuck no, it's not a coincidence. Yeah, that's also very British. Oh, well, that's not what it is at all. Really? Then why are you following all this stuff to a T? You know? How come when we go into a British store, right, to get imported stuff, but you're so fucking Canadian, you know, we go into a British import store, and then the lady at the counter who has a very, very strong, you know, accent, you know, from Soho or whatever else, they go, oh, you from Southend-on-Sea? It's like, Dad, if you had no affectation in your speech at all, you think they'd fucking be able to tell where you were from based on how you speak? It doesn't work that way. Yeah, but not all judges in the U.S. will honor the innocent until proven guilty. And Twitter proves to be an issue as well. Yeah, and that is an issue here as well. It's fucked. the whole thing is fucked. I mean, no system is perfect. There's always going to be one bad apple or a couple of bad apples. I mean, it's an imperfect system. You know, it's just, look at me. I do a lot of business with the United States. I, I was working on my my immigration, but in the current, until things sort of get back to normal, right now it's sort of like, okay, yeah, you're gonna do your O1 visa, cool it. Wait until the tariffs and the this and the that and all that is done. So I'm just sort of sitting tight. Like, yeah, all my TV shows run in the United States, but they're barters, so there's no money changing hands, at least. I don't know. It's just, everything is a pissing contest. It's a weird fucking time right now, that's for sure. Very, very weird time. The other thing, too, is we're also living in a time where people don't know the difference between fact and opinion. People will adopt a position when they will sit there and say it's a fact when it's not. If somebody doesn't like something, they'll say, you are an XY whatever. Not, I think that you are, You certainly won't get a measured argument of any sort. Just, you are this, and I feel or I think you are, as if it's a statement of fact. And people will just say, they will state opinion as fact, and then they will sit there and argue, and if you can't have a proper argument with somebody, then they'll just turn around and say, well, I'm right, and cover their ears and go la 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 la, and that's mob mentality. It's not that a system is imperfect. The problem is human nature in general. It's a combination. Human nature in general mandates, I suppose, in a form of natural law, I guess, if you want to call it that, that a system is, by virtue of human nature, not going to be perfect. This is a species, the human race, that has essentially adopted ethics as a form of adopted construct. We are not naturally ethical beings. We are emotional beings, and, depending on how you want to put it, you could say animals with a few extra brain cells, although the cynical part of me would maybe argue that extra brain cells, but at least the ability to hang oneself with information. I think it's honorable in concept that, we've come up with these laws and tried to have some kind of a unified. But I would agree. I would certainly agree with the concept that humans. But the thing is yes, human nature is flawed, but we have to try to come up with some kind of system. Is it perfect? No. Is it going to ever be perfect? Absolutely not. But you have to try. Because otherwise, what separates you from the animals? Technically, biologically, nothing separates us from the pride. And depending on how far down the theological or pedagogical bench you want to go, yeah, Friday night philosophy with alcohol. There's one way to deal with it. It is one of the deadly sins. But you could also argue that whatever wisdom philosophers have, and I'm not necessarily denying it, the philosophers are out talking about it while everybody else is living it. It doesn't necessarily make it wrong, per se, but it's easy to sit there and aggregate all the data and go. But one thing that I think we can all agree is that as a universal truth is that human beings are fucked. And at the end of the day, by virtue of intent or design or accident, essentially we are a race in terms of the human race of pugilists in various stages of benevolence or lack thereof. I oftenly jokingly refer to in jiu-jitsu, I jokingly say that we are benevolent pugilists, which always gets a huge laugh. But I think there's some truth in that, because if you have to use violence in any way, shape, or form to resolve a problem that, in fairness, has been presented to you, you didn't choose to take that option, but you have to deal with it. If you have to take hand to fist or hand to limb or whatever, even if you're not punching somebody, if you have to take a physical redirection to solve a problem, that in and of itself is a form of pugilism, regardless of whether or not you're perpetrating it. Except the difference between me and maybe us and perhaps a lot of other people, if not most other people, is I'm honest about it. Is there anything particularly academic about having to physically grab somebody to move them out of the way when they try and hurt you physically? No, it's absolutely 100% an animal thing. It's no different than a lion or a tiger or a bear or a puma or whatever else. Subject A takes a swing and tries to attack or physically take something away from somebody else or some other cat or dog or bear or ocelot or whatever. And then the other party goes, yeah, fuck this, man. I'm just trying to sit here having my dinner, and you want to take this away from me? Fuck you, douche, right? It's no different. I mean, but let's be honest about it. Martial arts is elegant, and it is, and in the sense of having to deal with an inelegant solution. If somebody presents violence towards you, you use science and inertia and math to physically, but you're still using physicality and violence. You're doing a strategic application of force, but you're still just basically acting as a more intelligent gorilla in Versace. Right? It doesn't. You can sit there and dress it up in Armani, $1,000 cufflinks, but at the end of the day, if somebody takes a swing at you, and you have to physically grab them and either hit them back or take them down or in whatever physical form stop them from doing that, I don't care how elegant you do it. You're still engaging in an animal form of instinct. And frankly, a lot, if not most, martial arts are based on animal movements anyway. So take from that what you... I mean, look at this game. Look at this. I mean, this is wrestling, I guess proper wrestling. And there's some jiu-jitsu here. Right? Look at this. Like, instead of these two beefy guys rolling around like some kind of an ex-hamster role play on a budget with very large pixels. I mean, is it a little bit more intelligent in its execution and that we're using inertia? Yeah, we are, right? I'm essentially grabbing a joint or a small manipulation. The neck is the muscles or the right, and then I'm using that to try to control somebody, but I'm still using force. I'm not having a conversation here. I'm not having a conversation to try to come up with some kind of an intellectual common ground. I'm still using force to basically stop somebody from doing something that I don't want them to do. And I don't care how much you want to go on about the honor of it and how smart it is mathematically. You're still basically taking your beef and hauling your beef around to deal with somebody else's beef that's coming at you. And I study martial arts multiple times a week, but I'm honest about it. Am I going to start a fight with somebody else and be the perpetrator? Absolutely not. But am I going to turn around and say, if I have to physically deal with somebody that has attacked me first, that I'm going to sit there and say it's anything other than an animal instinct, even if science is applied? Fuck no. Absolutely not. And I think we need to be honest about these things. Like, yes, there is brain power applied. Yes, there is math applied. And hooray for us for being so smart. But if we're so smart, then we shouldn't have to result to physically having to deal with anything. But we're animals. Humans are animals. And even if we don't want to do it, if somebody else gets in our face and tries to grab us and take our lunch money or milk money or whatever else, we're going to say fuck no, and then we're going to deal with it. Right? That's why we take martial arts. But I'm not going to sit here and say, is it a more elegant alternative than basically getting a neck beard and going out and saying y'all and all this stuff? No. But we're still dealing with an animal instinct. Maybe we've refined some stuff and all this kind of crap. But at the end of the day, we're still just kind of beating the shit out of each other. It's like, oh, it is so honorable. Yes, it is honorable in the sense that we're using it for self-defense. But we're still grabbing somebody even if they're trying to grab us first. And in fairness, I think any experienced martial artist would be honest about that. But any time that you have to physically grab somebody who's to deal with a situation where somebody's trying to grab you first. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all a bunch of meatheads pounding the shit out of each other. Like, we could say, oh, we're so smart, we're using math and inertia to do it. Yeah, it's an improvement, but we still are having to use force to deal with it. Anyway, that's sort of the alcohol-soaked so-called wisdom, if you want to call it that. I'm sure I'll hear that later when I sober up and go, what the fuck was I thinking? But, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things, man. It's just one of those things. But, on the other side of it, you could turn around and say, well, hey, when in Rome, right? If you are dealing with a world where people are going to use physical force to try and get what you want, even if that is not the method that you want to have to deal with to solve problems, which I don't, in the case of survival, it's only smart to learn the methods that people are going to attempt to use to exert control. And so this is why we have people, why we all try to learn martial arts and that sort of thing. Yeah, either that or seeing who can propel a large rock at one another more effectively. I mean, if we're being honest here, that's essentially what we're doing even when we're using martial arts. All we're doing is we're trying to sharpen the blade a bit, right? Some dipshit comes and tries to collar me or you or whatever when we're at a 7-Eleven or whatever just trying to get a fucking candy bar or a beer or whatever, and some dipshit pulls out a switchblade or collars us or tries to take a swing at us. Even if that's not necessarily the way that we want to deal with it, at least by having some martial arts training, we can turn around and we can reverse that. We can grab somebody and put them in a lock. Or we can take control of the situation with small joint manipulation without doing any damage, really, until the cops come or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, we're still using physical force as a solution to a problem. And so at the end of the day, even when we're using martial arts, and I'm a martial arts enthusiast, and I train a lot, and I enjoy it, and I like the mental and physical work out of it. But I'd be lying if I turn around and tell and said that essentially we weren't basically throwing rocks. They're more advanced rocks. We're using inertia and math and timing and and body science and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we're still all we're basically throwing rocks at each other to solve a problem. It's right. Who can take the rock? If I take a rock and I put it here, it's going to hurt and I might break something, but I'm still alive. But if I take a rock and I put it on my occipital lobe, it'll kill me, or whoever gets hit in the occipital lobe with it. You can tell, oh, well, that's really smart. They knew that the person was trying to kill them and they hit the occipital and that was it. Yeah, but at the end of the day, we're still beating the shit out of each other. And, you can turn around and wrap it up in as much academic folderol as you want, but we're all still basically throwing rocks. At the end of the day, as you say, seeing who can propel a large rock at one another more effectively, all we're doing with martial arts is just sharpening a blade. In other words, just trying to come up with a better place to put the rock. But we're still throwing rocks. We're still fucking throwing rocks. And you know what? Any of the Japanese martial arts that I know would be very honest about it. Yeah, we're throwing rocks. But if somebody throws a rock at you, then you might as well learn to throw a rock better, or throw the rock in a place where maybe they can't throw the rock at you. But we're still all throwing rocks. That's the long and the short of it. And maybe some people don't like that, but if we have to use violence to solve violence, which sometimes is the only way to deal with something, we're still throwing fucking rocks. We're still throwing rocks, essentially. Might not be physically we're taking a rock and going, but we're still doing that. Anytime you have to use physical force to deal with an issue, you're still basically dealing with rocks. You're still throwing rocks. Maybe it's a fist. Maybe it's a small joint manipulation. Maybe it's a kimura. Maybe it's a baseball bat choke. Maybe it's a gift wrap. Maybe it's a Ipase Nage throw. Maybe it's a De La Hiva. Maybe it, you know what I mean? But we're still throwing rocks. They might be cooler rocks. We're throwing cooler rocks. I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean, we're basically throwing cooler rocks. Oh, this katana is 2,000 years old and requires a lot of skill to operate. Yes, it does. Absolutely it does. Do weapons training in Aikido. And it's very hard, and I enjoy doing it. But it's still a fucking rock. We are still using, we're still throwing rocks. I mean, in this game, this is a digital representation of basically, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing at jiu-jitsu. And, I can wear these beautiful uniforms and have a katana. Or if I'm training with a Bokken or a Joe, as I do with Aikido. There's a lot of history and it's very effective. But it's still, at the end of the day, it might be a very fancy rock, but at the end of the day, essentially, we are still throwing rocks. And sometimes the only thing, swing, sharpen, rock. If you are using martial arts of any kind, any proficiency, it's not a literal rock, but you're still effectively throwing a rock. It's a sharpened rock. You're using a more intelligent form of a rock in that you're not expending energy that you don't necessarily need to expend, but you are still using force, albeit more efficiently, to solve a physical problem that has been presented your way without your say-so, involuntarily. So, essentially, somebody's throwing a rock at you, So you need a bigger rock or a sharper rock. It's not a literal rock, but it's still the same sort of idea. Work smarter, not harder, but you're still throwing a fucking rock. It's really all it comes down to. Right? I mean, you watch, and it's interesting when you sort of, but I think people need to be honest about what it is. Do we want to fight? No, absolutely not. I'm not going to start a fight. But if some dipshit decides that he wants to come and collar me while I'm just trying to get a slice of pizza or grab a beer or whatever, then I would rather have the information that I need to effectively deal with the problem and not get hurt or hurt any of my loved ones. But I'm also not going to turn around and say that it isn't a form of rock. I'm still using a form of violence, albeit controlled, to solve a problem. I don't want to have to use it. I didn't start it. But, you can't reason with somebody that's holding a gun to your head or a baseball bat or whatever else. That having been said, I will say that in many cases, you'd be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be surprised. There's an awful lot of issues that can be solved just having a chat over a good, over a pint of beer. I've done business over a pint of beer. I've made friends that initially we did not get on well, and there's a therapeutic value. There's a major value to basically being able to sit and talk and just have a meal or a good pint of beer. And you know what? I don't think that it's any accident that anytime, like say in Cobra Kai, when Johnny Lawrence and Danny LaRusso, when they're starting to actually kind of get on the same page, they usually have a drink in their hand and they're figuring stuff out. Don't think it's an accident at all. But there are times where words don't work, and then somebody decides that they're going to take a fist or a kick or this or that or the other thing, and then you kind of need to know how to defend yourself and deal with it. And in those cases, this is why we have martial arts and efficient ways of essentially throwing figurative rocks. But we're still throwing rocks. Crush rocks in a flammable powder, put in rock shaped like tube, insert bigger rock in tube, bored hole with rock, light flammable rock powder, send big rock flying. See, that's another important component, and I call that showmanship. I highly agree and condone showmanship. That having been said, my day job is television, so I am always going to be on the side of any sort of showmanship. I'm probably not there. I'm never, ever, ever going to argue against any elements of showmanship. This game is actually quite fun and fairly accurate. The mechanics are actually surprisingly decent. I'm not going to lie. This game, I just was trying to find something different in my pile of games that I hadn't played. But this is actually pretty... pretty fun. Not gonna lie. But I need to... That was not how I wanted to deal with that. Oh, he's gonna go back in the ring. Can I get back in the ring? There we go. Now we're back in the ring. But everybody goes back up to 100, so it's difficult to sort of tell how do the controls work. In this game, it seems like X, Y, and Z deal with more holds, and then A, B, and C deal with the execution. Now, right now I'm losing because he got a break, so I'm the green dude. So right now I did A to start an attack, and then I'm using A to grab. which obviously didn't work that well. It took me a little while to figure it out. I'm not exactly providing a particularly credible case study here. Well, he won anyway. But yeah, it's basically, it seems like the... Yeah, of course I want to continue. Yeah, it took me a little while to kind of figure out how the controls... but it seems from what I've been... I mean, I don't know if I'd say it was button mashing. So it seems like the lower buttons, A, B, C, are sort of the execution of the move and to start a hold and start a move. And then the X, Y, and Z buttons sort of deal with the... Yeah, there we go. So I'm the green guy, so B is holding, and then I hit Y to execute the throw. So I'll do it again. So now I've got basically like a body lock. So here's the grip fighting. Grip. Yeah, he's getting past my grip here. There. He's actually countering that pretty well. Okay, well, while it was working, that was sort of what was going on. There we go. There we go. So B, C, go around for sort of a grip. Ow. He's got me pretty good. Press, land, artichoke, rock. Yeah. Yeah. Aw, come on, man. I just went up to him. This is what happened to me the other night at jiu-jitsu. Like, I was like, yeah, and I wasn't really paying attention. I was cocky, and I ended up tapping him like 2 seconds. I'm like, all right, man. Like my buddy, I was just like, you know what, well, let's do that again. I fucked that up. It's a legit tap, but you're not going to get any pride out of it, and that's shit for me. Yeah, so that was BCZ. That, well, that's me losing. So, A... Although you have to get in quick. Because if you don't get in quick, it doesn't... Okay, so I've got the... Yeah, okay, so B, C, Z. So B to get the position, C to hold, and then Z. Oh, he got me there, but... Get up, Tubby. Okay, I need to create some distance here. Because this is not... Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, and then if you hit the shoulder buttons, then you can sort of fling them around a bit. It seems like anyway. I mean, I'll be honest, this is the first time I've ever actually pulled this game. Okay, yeah, actually it does seem to be the shoulder button. Right shoulder button. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's not so cool, but... Okay. Okay. All right. I did. Yeah. 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 L and artichoke rock. Actually, you know what? I wonder what happens if I hit L and R. Whole lot of nothing. I guess it has to be with something else. That was cool. But that was B, C, L, and R with the Y. So that was sort of chained with another's hack. So that doesn't... Yeah. It is interesting, though, because... Oh my god, I could just throw him out of the fucking ring. It's like, fuck you, piece of meat. Screw you. Well, I guess I should have expected to have to pay for that. I think. Yeah, it's funny. I did a promo this morning while I was live directing the Rod Peterson show. It's like a sports show that I do here. And I was like, come on tonight and watch the live stream. And I'm not sure if it worked or not. There were like 60 views or whatever because I did it on YouTube Shorts. And I'm like, well, there's a few people coming in and out. I just do it for fun anyway. I enjoy. And I'm getting closer with the arcade machine. Just about, from what you're explaining, the mechanics sound way better than Y2K wrestling. Yeah, they are way better. I'm actually really surprised at how good the mechanics are. Y2K wrestling, I'll be honest, I never. I mean, I used to play it back in the day, like when it was current, because I'm old. And I honestly, I found the controls. I personally thought they were kind of clunky. In my opinion, I felt that they were fairly clunky. I mean, they were serviceable. You could certainly get the job done. I wouldn't necessarily reduce it per se to button mashing category, but I felt that Y2K wrestling had was not. And also as you know, jiu-jitsu, where I do a lot of these kind of moves in real life every night. Not. There's a fair amount of accuracy here. I mean, this is wrestling and not jiu-jitsu, but there's a, there's definitely some overlap in terms of moves. I mean, generally you get yes, it's Canadian, but we have like people that go to university, American universities here, whatever. So, if you get some D1 wrestler or a D2 wrestler or whatever, or Duke or Syracuse or Cornell or whatever, and they're here, they take to jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu like nothing else. So they're like, oh, wow, it's my first class, whatever. And then you're getting fucking choked and submitted and gah. And you're like, you first class? Fuck me, man. Like, what's going on? Oh, well, I was a D1 wrestler. Well, it would have been nice to know that before. There's a lot of overlap in this stuff. You definitely get more out of character customization than actual wrestling. Yeah, ain't that the truth? It's fun. It's fun. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it sucks. But as far as actual wrestling mechanics, not great. Not Y2K wrestling. But it is serviceable. I will give it that. It is serviceable. It is, it's a fun game. But yeah, I think that's fair. I would say that it's more of a customization sort of thing, really, than anything else. But this honestly feels like wrestling. I mean, I'm not a wrestler, but I'm a jiu-jitsu, and I train pretty seriously in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and there's a lot of overlap here, and I got to be honest with you, a lot of this feels like class, except without the soreness that it comes after on a bad night. Some days you're the hammer, and some days you're the nail. You're like, ha ha ha, I'm on fire, and I got 3 submissions. And then you go another night, and you go, I'm in a rocket, and then you're like, bleh! Tap, 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 tap. One of my buddies got my fucking elbow really good, and I'm just like, ah! And professor's giggling in the background. You all right, Corey? It's like, yes, I'm fine. That's okay. It's all good. We have fun. We take the martial arts seriously, but not ourselves. I think that's the best way to put it. But yeah, no. The mechanics of this are actually really, really good. In fact, I think I'm going to keep playing this game. Actually, I would even go so far as to say, and maybe it's the boost talking, I would go so far as to say that this would actually potentially be useful for actual jiu-jitsu. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting the big fireworks. They're like, oh, it's Canada Day and the cops aren't going to shut us down. I probably would have made a pretty good cop, but I'd do better as a lawyer. I have a couple of friends that are cops, and they're like, "Hey, Corey, you'd be a good cop. You know, you can do all the physicals and the security clearance and all." It's like, yeah, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, unless you were talking about his takedown. I'm not precious about it. I'm not precious about it. I'm not precious about it. If only I could get such high percentile takedowns in class. That would be awesome. Like that. Like that. Although generally it's frowned upon body slams because it's sort of seen as cheating. And you know what? It kind of is. Right? The idea is controlled submissions. And also, there's a practicality component too, from a self-defense point of view. So let's say, just for shits and giggles, right? Somebody comes and they decide that they're going to basically pick a fight with you. Well, you could do something like that, but then they hit their head and they die, and guess what? Your ass is going to jail, regardless of whether they were the perpetrator or not. However, if you do something like an axe sweep or a de la Riva or something where you can cradle the head so that it puts them down and then you can take control of them in real life and mount, which that is not that, although it was very cool. Then you can control somebody. They're not dead. You're not getting charged with assault. And you can also hold them until the police arrive, and then everybody are happy dancing people. So there is a logic in no body slams when you're doing jiu-jitsu. However, this is a video game. There is no liability concerned with respect to said liability because these are digital people pounding each other, and so we don't need to concern ourselves with such things. Oh, you were talking about the spinning suplex earlier. Yeah, that was pretty epic. I'd actually been trying to get that for a while. Yeah. You know what would be cool? They should have a jiu-jitsu, or where there's more you know what's fun are leg entanglements. I don't know if you've done any jiu-jitsu, but I'm sure you're familiar with it because I know you've done some physical study. I might actually get myself another drink. I don't know. It's Friday night, man. Life is good. What can I say? Yeah, leg entanglements are cool because you can. There are two things that I really like in jiu-jitsu that wrestling does not have, or at least as much of. Leg entanglements, I like them because they serve two purposes. One, a leg entanglement essentially stops somebody. Never did jiu-jitsu? Yeah, there's definitely some overlap. I'll find some cool matches, and then I'll send them to you. Send you some links the next time I do a stream or whatever. But what was I going to say? Yeah, so leg entanglements are cool because it does a couple of things. One, it keeps somebody from progressing too far. It gives you time to think about the next move because it stops them. It forces them to not. It forces them or any progression that they may have been making to stop. Two, it allows you to work your way up. And three, if you're quick about it and you angle yourself properly, then you can actually take that and start to, you can sometimes turn that into something offensive. So sometimes you can turn that into a sweep, i.e., flip somebody on the other side, and then you can take mat, which is basically getting on top of them. And then once you get on top, then you have various submissions. You can get a kimura, which is basically taking the arm and torquing it, or you can torque and then you essentially walk around, right? And then just go do and take your time. And then what happens is the elbow gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and then eventually it breaks, and then the other person's going to tap. And if they don't tap, then they, break their arm. as much as none of us want to lose, and as much as pride might get us to the very last seconds on the clock, if any timed matches, it's not worth it. Tap. If you can't get it and you feel that sharp pain in your joint and it feels like your limb is going to break, in jiu-jitsu, it means your limb is going to break. So you tap and then you reset, you assess where you were, and then you go from there. One thing I want to mention about this wrestling, that thing where you're taking the head and then throwing somebody like that, you actually can do that. That can be done. Absolutely can be done. And they've actually gone to a lot of trouble. I mean, they must have done some motion capture or something here because it's very accurate. Let's see if I can do it again. So if I take this guy, let's see if I can replicate that move. We're just grip fighting now. You know what? Fuck this. I'm going to go in because it'll be easier to see once I get back in the ring. So I'll get him to follow me back in the ring. So if I can get this, see where I grab that? See how my left hand is on the base of his neck? Not there, but the one before it. But then my right hand is on the base of his back, like his lower back. And you'll notice that my hip is touching his other hip. If you do that now it makes it look like you're just grabbing the guy by the neck and throwing him. But essentially what you're doing is the left hand being at the base of the neck and the right hand being on the small of the back is actually not providing any pressure. You're essentially giving yourself a brace. The power comes from essentially connecting your hip to the other person's hip. So you can safely and effectively take somebody and throw them without hurting them. And we do variants of that in jiu-jitsu, and it's extremely effective. There's a lot of people that look at this and go, oh, you can't do that, it's fake. You actually can, and it's very cool. But you do need to be careful, and when we drill it, like when we all started learning that shit, very, very careful about it. You have to be careful about it, right? Because, yeah, you're fighting, but, they're also your friends, right? Better. I had one of my jiu-jitsu coaches used to say, the better everybody is, the better everybody gets. So, you don't want to make it easy on somebody, but you also don't want to be a dick and snap their neck. That's why you tap. Wow, it took a little second to go, gee, I don't know, man. He's on the ground. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'll take a headbutt where I can get it. So if I do a headbutt, get kicked out. Headbutt not allowed in jiu-jitsu. Not allowed to do that at all. And that thing that he did with the neck to control the position, you'll notice that although it looks like the stuff is coming from the neck. Okay, he kicked me in the face. Really it's the hips that are doing all the work. Right, that's sort of the. See, again, left hand on base of neck, right hand on small of back, and the hip is connecting with the other hip, and then you simply direct. This is all correct. But it's nice on a Friday night to be doing it digitally, not feeling it. Because, I mean, and this is why we do kemi, basically break falls and controlled falls, right? Because you also need to know how to take the hit and fall properly. Because if you don't know how to fall properly, then you wind up getting paralyzed and, So we train taking falls as much as we do the attacks, because being able to take the fall safely and be able to roll and invert and then get back in the game is equally as important, if not more important, than the attack itself. I was a little slow there. You know what? Fuck this douche nozzle. I'm going to see if he comes. Well, that's one way to do it. That's one way to do it, man. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. It's like, fuck you, man. I'm gonna go right out of here, and then that's sort of it. Oh, shit. I gotta step up my game. That's something, but that's just a move from here to here. Here we go. Ooh. Finish him off. God. Come on, man. Let's rock. That's something. Beats being thrown, I guess. That didn't go quite the way I wanted. And by quite the way I wanted, I mean not at all. I crush your head. Get back in the ring. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Ha ha ha. Sweet. It's a crying shame how few games on the Saturn made it to the West. I know, man. I gotta be honest. Like the Japanese games are way better than the stuff we got here. I mean, we got some pretty awesome games, but I honestly think that if a lot of these games, if not most of them, made it to the West, I think the Saturn would have done a lot better than it did. I mean, I'm gonna be biased because I was always a Sega kid. But I mean, honestly, if I had no idea. Thank you. Yeah, that was a pretty epic headlock. I was quite pleased with that one. I've been working on that one. Although getting my head stomped, there we go. I've been working on that for a bit. I was going to go in slide control here. 1, 2. Yeah, all these fucking awesome games that they got in Japan. The Japanese got all these kick-ass games. And it's like we didn't get most of this stuff. Most of this shit, we didn't get it all. Like, this is just awesome. One of my friends, he's a police officer, and he lived in Japan for years. He was actually a sushi chef before he became a police officer. Actually, just got promoted. And all these amazing games. He's like, yeah, it's all this cool stuff, Corey. It's all this, And, I mean, of course, now I have all these crazy games. Like, I'll get these big bins full of discs on eBay. It's like, oh, we have so many Japanese, Saturn games, and then I'll just get them, and then I'll play them. So I have all these games. Most of them I haven't played yet. So this one I've never played. I just had it. I'm like, what have I not run in? Like, what have I not put in the Saturn yet? And, what is it that I haven't done just yet? Oh, get up. Ah, fuck. That sucks. It was close for a while, but yeah, this game is awesome. I tell you what it was called, but it's in Japanese. Oh, it's Virtua Wrestling or something like that. It's pretty ow, I didn't know that you could hit. I'm like, okay, all right, fine, fuck you, dipshit. Punch him in the face. That's one way to deal with it. The honorable member of the House of Parliament. We actually had a prime minister in the 1800s that actually punched out the head of the opposition. He was a Scottish guy, Sir John A. Macdonald, and he went in the House of Commons, and he actually went down and he fucking beat the shit out of the leader of the opposition. We don't get that anymore. Our first prime minister was a Scot. Of course, he's gonna go there and have a fucking Donnybrook to deal with whatever political problems. Development of the 32X, in my opinion, hindered the Saturn, and the Sega CD's capabilities have been horribly underutilized. Yeah, I would agree. I think what really hurt the Saturn is how closely the 32X and the Saturn were released. I remember, and I think what happened is I think it pissed a lot of people off. And it's like, hey man, like I just spent all this money on, a 32X or the Saturn or the reverse or whatever, and I think that really killed Sega in terms of the hardware. Obviously we got the Dreamcast after it and everything, but it and I don't even think that Sega were doing it necessarily to be dicks. I think it's just like they spent so much time focusing on what Nintendo was doing or what they might be doing or whatever, that I think that if they just focused on what they had, I think they would have been okay. And you know what? Unpopular take here. I'm a huge Virtua Fighter fan, so I'm really excited for Virtua Fighter 6. But I don't think that this is the last kick. I think Sega's might take another kick at the... I don't think they're done yet with hardware. I think they might actually come up with a killer piece of hardware, and they might actually get back into the console wars. And I think they might actually cause Nintendo a little bit of pain if they do. I think that would be awesome. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy, and you know what? Maybe I am, and maybe they won't. I just have a feeling that that Sega is, gonna take another kick at the can. And you know what? It's a good time for it. The Switch 2, I don't know what the fuck that is. It just doesn't impress me much. But the movies are doing well. The Sonic movies are far better. I saw them all. I saw them in the theater. They were far better than they had any right to be, given the source material. Yeah, Sega might not. I have a feeling that they might take another kick at the can, because their financials are good with Sega Sammy. They're getting a lot of subsidy with the movies and other stuff, and Sonic is cool again. They're making a fair amount of money. Their licensing for a lot of their properties have a lot of anticipation. So I think they are going to maybe try another hardware thing. Do I think that we're going to see the kind of exciting console wars type thing as special as it felt in the early 1990s? No, absolutely not. Any retard can set up a Kickstarter, and if they're popular enough, put something out and have it do okay. I don't think that feeling that, when we were kids in the 90s and everything was special, because not everybody and their dog could make the stuff. I don't think we're going to see that again. But I do think that there's a good possibility. Am I going to put money on it? Fuck no. But I do think that there is a good possibility that we are going to see Sega maybe try something. Yeah, the Sonic movies could have been way worse. And what do you do with Sonic? I don't know. I liked what they did with it. I think it worked really well. I think they did a good job at concocting a story. Yeah, a little younger leaning maybe, but I enjoyed them. And when Sonic 4 comes out, I'll be the first in line for my take. I thought that they were going to suck, and I'm like, this is way better than I thought it was. Are we going to sit here and say it's an Oscar-winning epic movie or whatever? No, absolutely not. But they were good. And the characters were likable, and the story was good. I was really impressed with Sonic 3 and, Robotnik and the Elder Robotnik. I thought that was a really interesting dynamic. I didn't see that coming. So I liked that. I thought it was a very interesting way of handling it. I thought it was an interesting approach, having Sonic basically essentially being a lonely alien. I think from a story point of view that works really well. Yes, it is a little bit more youth oriented, I guess, but it works. It works. I think it works really well. You know, I also liked the way that Knuckles was handled. I liked the way that Tails was handled. I thought that having Keanu Reeves' shadow was awesome. The hey, hot topic. I thought that was great. And in my personal opinion, the Sonic movie should have been a cartoon. Yeah, I think it would have worked equally well as a cartoon, but I don't know. I think it worked pretty well. I think it worked pretty well. I mean, I suppose you could argue it largely was a cartoon, I guess, because, I mean, a lot of the stuff is virtual with a couple of green screen people in it, but yeah, they have gotten better with each installment, which is interesting because usually when you get a sequel of something, they get worse and worse and worse. It's like, okay, all right, you have milked this cow, you have sold your toys, we get it. No more, please. Thank fucking God. No more, for the love, for mercy. But no, the Sonic movies have gotten better. Sonic 2 is better than Sonic 1. The movies. Sonic 3 was fantastic. Apparently they're making a Sonic 4. I mean, I can't wait. I think they're great. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed going to the movie theater, and having popcorn and there was a lot of stuff I didn't see coming. I just thought it was great. I thought it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. I have to give kudos to the production team and Sega and all that for doing what they did. And you know what? It takes a lot of balls to take an approach like that. I feel like they did a pretty good job at finding a way to make some of the source material work, get rid of the stuff that might maybe get in the way of the kind of narrative that you're trying to make. But I don't know, I thought they were great. I really enjoyed them. But at the same time, I'm looking at them both as a Sega fan. I'm looking at them as a movie fan that's looking at it on its own as a story and not necessarily saying, oh, well, this isn't canon or this is canon. And my day job is television, so I'm also looking at it from a professional lens and doing as much as I can to balance them, all those points of view, because you're balancing your expectations as a fan, and you're balancing your expectations from a narrative point of view and looking at it as a movie in and of itself. And then on top of that, when basically you work in film and television as your day job, you're also looking at it with that technical eye. Well, what would I do? What would I, you know what I mean? So I try to look at something on its own merit. Am I successful all the time? Absolutely not. I mean, I'm human. I have my biases just like anybody else, but I certainly try. And I feel that on all counts, I think it works pretty well. Revenge Guac. That was great. And there are some characters that, like Robotnik's, aide there that was making him all the lattes, and he treated him like shit. I really liked how he sort of realized what was important by the third movie. And he realized that he had this guy that idolized him and was a really good, I don't know. I liked that. I thought it was it was played somewhat for laughs, but I don't know. It works. It works. Maybe slightly gay, perhaps, but, gay or not, that's fine. But it works. It works. The appreciation is there. Yeah, Agent Stone. Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was lots of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was able to forget my life for a bit and enjoy it. I'm really looking forward to Sonic 4. Really looking forward to Sonic 4. Hey, and you know what? It got Jim Carrey out of retirement. He clearly is having fun doing those. I think initially he did it for the money maybe, but I mean, I think he was really enjoying it and got into it. And you know what? He does a great job. Jim Carrey as Robotnik. Jim Carrey as the Eggman. I mean, that's, I think it's pretty cool personally. I think it's great. In my opinion, I think it's great. I really enjoyed it. I'm surprised we don't have any trolls or flat earthers here tonight, eh? It seems like the last couple of broadcasts we had people coming in here talking about poop and flat earth and God knows what else. That we have no such digital riffraff in here this evening. What meme do you think they're gonna have in the next movie? Fuck, man. You know what? I don't know. It's honestly anybody's guess, I suppose. I don't know. I know it'd be more fun for me to guess, I suppose, but I didn't see the ones that were coming as they did, so I'm just going to enjoy and see what bullshit they pull. And be pleasantly surprised and have my popcorn. And also the cool thing is my friend runs the movie theater here in town in Regina, the Moonlight Cinemas. They have awesome popcorn and they have all these Sega arcade games. It's probably the best arcade in the city, so go see Sonic and play old school Crazy Taxi in the original arcade cabinet in the lobby. And I mean, I do a lot of the pre-show stuff just to help the theater out, and it's my favorite theater. In fact, gonna go see Karate Kid Legends tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait. Sonic 2, how do you know the way? Shadow loves Latinas. You going to play base of ball? Oh, sorry, Zero. Thought you were a spider. Walk and throw, man. Walk and throw. You could do better than that. Oof. There you go. Snap the guy's underwear. Little gay wet pride going on here in front of the audience. Guy's in a Speedo. Ooh. Didn't want that flip done to me, but it was a good flip. Can't really argue with that. That was pretty good. Break. I'll take it. Oh! If I'd have just kept that soiled pride. Ugh. Fuck me. Not literally. Don't jet call me. Anyway, not. I joke. Draw. Come on, man. Pride my ass. Nothing straighter than guys fighting in their underwear. Shiny underwear. I think I shot myself. Hello, Zero. Yeah, don't knock over my computer, will ya? Take that, big beefy guy number 4. I'll give you attention in a minute. Hello. 0. 0. I am being distracted by the cat. Fuck. There we go. Doot 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 doot. Come on, stop trying to hit me and hit me. A little grip fighting. Okay, this guy has figured it out, man. I need to step up my game a bit. Ha ha ha. Take that, monsieur. La position. Itala. Dee. Come back for more, eh? Oh, that was like keto style. There we go. Bro seems to be more hard to take down when completely deleted. Low health. Yeah, you know, that he is kind of like that. I'm the green guy. Yeah, it's like he sort of gets a sort of stay of execution, and then I must defend my honor or lack thereof, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But yeah, he's pretty fucked. I just keep getting him with this. That's me. The mechanics of this game are actually really good. I'm actually pretty... Oh. There we go. We'll just sort of deal with that. Get up, get up, get up. There we go. There we go. Can I hold that? Okay. That was a successful reversal. We'll take that, and then we'll bring that in here. Like so. Get back in the ring, dipshit. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, there. No, no, no. Get up. I was doing so well. Fuck. Doodle doo. Well, I was doing okay, but I think I opened myself up to some bullshito here, which I just did there. Ow. But you know what? I have to give the guy credit for doing what he did. Oh no, I don't know why he's trying to beat me up. It's not very nice, you know. Okay, we try a different match. Yeah, so here it is, featuring Virtua. So I guess this is one of Sega's. Oh, you know what fucking killed me? There was a guy in Regina on Marketplace, and he had a candy cab, Astro City candy cab, and he was asking, I think 2,600 for it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see if I can grab one of those. Of course, it was fucking sold like that. It's like, god damn it, damn it. I don't know what game I would have put in it, but I don't know what game came with it, but it's like it was candy cab. Oh, that was. I don't know what I would have put in it, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I mean, this is the prairies, right? I mean, you don't see this stuff very often. I was like, oh, a candy cap, and I don't have to import it and all this crap. Somebody grabbed it. I thought, oh, well, you know what? Maybe being in the prairies, you know, people will be like, oh, damn, I'll get it off of farm season. But, you know, it's funny. This guy, oh my God, you can play as Wolf. Look at this. I didn't know. This guy here, it looks like if my sensei really let himself go and gained like 75 pounds. Don't tell him that. I'll be fucking... One, two, three. Hello, doggy. Are you being a good boy? Tilk, are you being a good boy? Hey? Yeah, you're putting your nose in front of the air conditioner. Body lock. Take that. Lock there. That was kind of an inelegant flip. I think it's somewhat inelegant anyway. I feel like better could be done, frankly, from that. Did not go quite the way that I wanted. Nowhere near it. Hello, doggy. Are you being a good boy? USA, USA. Not gonna hear that in Japan, that's for damn sure. This guy, the white dude that I am playing right now, he does not seem to be quite as, what's a nice way of putting it? Well-tuned? He just seems like a poorly balanced blob of jello. Not cool. Absolutely not cool. All right, come on, man. Let's rock. Oof. I'm not playing as this character. Fuck that noise. Hey, let me up. I don't like this character. I am going to continue, but I'm going to play as somebody else. You know, it's funny. This stuff doesn't have a huge amount of alcohol in it. It's only like, I don't know if this will focus on it. 6.6% alcohol. But it's, I don't know. Japan could say USA depending on the circumstances. Yes, but that's not one of them. Yeah, wah. Wah. It's weird that you have these guys that they're real guys, and then you have Wolf from Virtua Fighter in here, and then you have I saw Wolf and who else? I'll let that run again. I'm actually going to have one more can of this stuff, I think. Because I don't drink very often. I do my Friday night drinking and play video games at home and drink like I'm 12. I had a friend. So one of the other shows that I do, Go Nitro, we do. Couldn't read the can. It's written in French. Oh, well, I can translate for you. It's in both languages. But the phone doesn't really want to focus, so I also have manual focus on. So basically the alcohol, yeah, I have it on manual focus because otherwise the iPhone focuses in and out. So this is 6.6%. So about 1.5% more than a typical beer, typical domestic Canadian beer. But because it has so much sugar in it, I feel it. Because it's not just about how much alcohol is in it. There's other factors as well. No, I know it was a joke, but it's have you had this stuff? It's the Fireball, not the straight Fireball, which I actually really like. But it's like 35%, and frankly, the whiskey is better than it has any right to for what it costs. Like, $20 or whatever gets you this decent. Oh yeah, my friend. I'm trying to remember. I was starting to say something. Oh yeah, my friend. She was. We did an episode of Go Nitro. We haven't edited it yet. I'll let you know when it's out. But we shot it like a year or two ago, and it was in the can. And we did an episode on Taekwondo because we cover as many different types of martial arts and sports and whatever as we can. And my friend and the master of the dojang, Master Kim, he's a cool dude. It's in Ottawa, like the nation's capital. Not Ottawa, Illinois, like Ottawa, Ontario. It's the Canadian Olympic team. And my friend trained at this dojang, and we shot an episode there with Master Kim, because Master Kim knew my old instructor. He also had a dojang. Like his dad started a dojang here, and they knew each other. And then I knew him from Krav Maga. But anyway, we did this episode, and the kicks were really, really high, and you sort of have to work your way up to these really, really high kicks. So they're sort of adapted. And at the end of it, and Taekwondo just wasn't my thing. And my friend was like, "Oh, sounds like you should quit that jiu-jitsu stuff and do Taekwondo." And Master Ko, sorry, not Master Kim, Master Ko. So Master Ko was really cool about it, and I said, with your permission, because we'd finished filming, and I said, because he knew I was a martial artist, and I said, with your permission, and now that the cameras aren't rolling, because it is your dojang, can I sort of show why, sort of what would happen in that particular scenario? Master Ko is very cool. He's like, yeah, absolutely, right? Because he's a scholar of martial arts. So I said to my friend, I said, "Come and kick me as hard as you can." She's like, "Are you sure? It'll shatter your fucking bones." I'm like, "I know you will." And she's like, "But why do you?" I'm like, "You trust me, you're not going to hit me. Like you." She's like, "Yeah," but I'm like, "Just don't worry about it. I've signed a waiver. If you smash my fucking rib cage and turn me into pieces, then that's on me. But come at me as hard as you can. Give me the hardest fucking kick. Attack me any way you want. Any way you want." So she's, really, really strong, stocky Lebanese Canadian. So she really had, and she was she was an amazing kicker. Really, really amazing high kicks. Good friend of mine. And she's like, "Okay." So we signal and we start the match, and then she comes at me and she's going to do a jump kick. And then I basically go out of the way, and before she can even do anything, I have her in a choke, and I've gone behind her. And she's like, "How the fuck did that?" And Master Ko's laughing, and I'm like, "In order to kick me, you have to get to me. But if you can't get to me and I know where you're going with jiu-jitsu, I can stop you." Right? If you had landed that kick, I absolutely would have been in ICU or worse. But I knew where you were going to move because you're telegraphing where you're going to move. Every martial art has its use. Taekwondo has its use. Karate has its use. Okinawan, whatever. Jiu-jitsu, Aikido, Judo, Pancak Silat, so on and so on and so on. You use the tool for the issue that presents itself to you. And she was like, oh, holy shit. I'm like, yeah. If there's a situation where we had to do a crazy fucking kick, it's your show. But if you need to disable, if you need a small joint lock, if you need any of those sorts of things, then, you know, yeah. And I not cheat, but even in jiu-jitsu, judo, aikido, they're all sort of the same kind of subset. So there'll be times where I'll be rolling with somebody and I'm like, I can't get this position and this guy's going to submit me, you know, say. So I might go, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do an aikido joint lock, which is a here and then a bend and then it's like a chicken wing. And then they go, tap, 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 tap. It's like, yeah. It's all related. You do what you need to do to finish the job in the match. Yeah. Fireball is really nice. And it's relatively cheap. It's like 35%. That's a lot of sugar in it, so it'll knock you on your ass. But this stuff is nice too. This is it's like an apple pop. And it's weird because it's not really a liqueur. It's not a liqueur. It's not a cooler. It's not a flavored drink. It's not a soft drink that has a little bit of alcohol in it. It's sort of its own thing. It's like an apple. Like it almost tastes like a carbonated Macintosh apple drink that has cinnamon, that has Fireball in it. And I don't know if you've had pure Fireball, which you should be able to get. Like it's pretty easy to find in Illinois. I can't remember, and in the Midwest it's pretty easy to find too. It's a cinnamon whiskey. It's really, really nice. But this apple shit is really, really nice. I had Fireball, but haven't had that Fireball. Yeah, so basically what this is it's more intense than a cooler. It's basically a carbonated apple type drink that has a fairly hefty shot of Fireball, traditional Fireball in it. So it's this kind of apple cinnamon cider that has a huge Fireball kick. And I saw it at the liquor store and I'm like, you know what? This seems like this might be worth a try, you know, for $4 or whatever. I'll chance a can. Fuck it. I'll try it. I'm like, hey, you know what? This is really nice. Yeah, Crown's nice. Canadian, you're going for the Canadian booze, huh? Yeah, Crown's decent. Crown is a good mid-level whiskey. It's actually, for Canadian whiskey, it's actually pretty sweet. Canadian whiskeys traditionally tend to be more dry. And frankly, they don't taste like a normal whiskey. I would almost argue that a Canadian whiskey isn't really a whiskey, but it shares enough attributes that I suppose it is. But the nice thing about Crown is Crown mixes well with a lot of things, which a number of whiskeys don't. My mom used to like Crown a lot. I'm sure she still does, and she used to use the little purple bags that it came in to store her playing cards. But it mixes really well with stuff, which frankly a lot of whiskeys don't. So Crown will mix well with Coke, and it is. Yeah, it is. I actually did not know that it was Canadian up until a couple of years ago. Somebody's like, "Hey man, it's Canadian. It's secret." I was like, "Really? Oh, cool." I don't fucking care if it's Canadian or not. I care if it's good. If it's good, could be Canadian, American, Russian, German, Dutch. I don't give a shit. I'm not one of these rah. Besides, I make most of my living from America, so big difference between the American government and the American people. But actually, one of the things that sucks about the tariffs and everything is actually there's another whiskey that is far better than it has any right to be, given it, and it's like a full. I think it's like a 40 proof or a 50 proof. I forget what. Screwball. Have you had Screwball? Screwball is good. Southern Comfort is lovely. I love Southern Comfort. I'm a big fan of really good any good Kentucky bourbon, any Southern. They're just fantastic. Maker's Mark is pretty good too. But I really like Southern Comfort a lot. In fact, I usually keep Southern Comfort in my cabinet because I really like it because it's warm and it's smooth. It's angry enough. It's got a little bit of spice to it and has a little bit of anger to it, but it also has that warm Southern smooth that I really like. Yeah, Screwball, I think it's made in California, and it's if you can believe this, it's a peanut butter whiskey, but it's not a liqueur, and it is a proper. I'll have to check the proof, but it's like a 35 or a 40 proof or something like that. It's not a liqueur. It is a proper full whiskey, and it's fantastic. And I remember trying it. I'm like, holy shit. It's like, I mean, I love Reese, right? You can see I'm always having these on my Friday, but it's like if you took, it shouldn't work, but it does. I don't know why it does. And you know what? Maybe it doesn't, maybe it's not important for me to know why it does, but for whatever reason, and truthfully, I don't know what that reason is. It's a full, proper whiskey that tastes like peanut butter. It's fantastic. If you can find Screwball, honestly, it's not cheap. If you track it down for a larger bottle, like a normal sized bottle, like you're gonna probably spend $50 or $60 on it. Is it kind of like a malt? I would say it. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that it is like a malt, but I would say that you will taste maybe you'll definitely taste an influence of a malt. So I would say that maybe 40% of it is like a malt, between 30 and 40%. So I don't know if I would say that it's like a malt per se, or that you could compare it to a malt, but you would absolutely taste a very strong malt-like influence. So depending on how you want to kind of work the percentages, I would say yes. It's not as dark and as thick as a malt can be, but you absolutely would taste the malt-esque in it. Yeah, it's not as thick as rum chata. It's not as malt-like as rum chata. It's a little lighter than that. It's about 60% lighter than that. But I would say that thick, rich, I would say it has about 40% of that of rum chata. I've never tasted anything like it. And I've got a British-Irish first-gen family, second-gen family, so I drink a lot. I mean, on the weekend, but I enjoy the good stuff. And I've never had anything like it. Never had anything like it. Never had anything like it before or since. If you can find it, it's absolutely worth trying, because it's lovely. It's different. It's different, and this is different. The I don't know if this is the other tough thing about liquor is a lot of times things get regionalized even if they're international brands. So for example, there's shit even just within Canada. There's stuff that I can find in Ontario and Quebec no problem. But then if I want to get it here in Saskatchewan or Alberta, can't find it anywhere. And they'll go, oh, gee, I haven't heard of it. And when I'm in the United States, like there'd be stuff that I could get in upstate New York and Syracuse, no problem at all. But then you go to Nevada, say, or Ohio, you wouldn't be able to find it. But they would have other stuff, and then when you're like, oh, this is really nice, and then you try to find another one. Yeah, Screwball is fairly popular. You will very likely be able to find it. I think, did you say that you were in the Midwest? You should be able to find it. You should have no problems finding it. Ohio, Nebraska, in the northern 48, you shouldn't have any problems. So you probably find it in Montana or whatever. It is a little bit more selective in the southern states, which I know you're not in. So you can get it in. You can get it in Florida. You can get it in Texas. You can get it in Tennessee, but it's a little harder to find there. You have to hunt a bit to get it there. But the Midwest or the northern 48, you'd be able to get it. You'd be able to probably get it at like probably Trader Joe's even. Any decent off sale, you should be able to get it. It's worth getting. I used to be a rum person. I found that I've sort of gotten off of that, but I find I used to like, actually my Aikido sensei actually suggested a really nice rum, and he's like, Corey, you should really try this. This is really nice. I don't know if it's called Bumbu. Have you had it? Like it's a dark, toasted coconut rum, which generally is not my bag at all. It's not generally something that I particularly care for. When I tried this, it's a little price, about the same price roughly that you would pay for a Screwball, but it's really, really, really nice. Really nice, very smooth, dark but not too dark, so that you feel like you're eating charred coconuts. It's really, really nice. But you got to be careful when you drink it, because it'll just knock you on your ass. But it's really nice. What is the rum? It's called Bumbu. Bumbu. I'll type it, because I'm gonna crack open another one of these anyway before I start another Bumbu. Get the darkest stuff you can find, but it's all lovely. It looks like it's an old-fashioned bottle, and then it has like crossbones on the front of it. Yeah, it's really, really, really nice. But it's really, really nice. It is a, I was trying to think of the best way to put it. It's dark, but it's not too dark. I wouldn't say it's rich. It's definitely strong. You definitely want to sip it. Not that you necessarily would want to chug rum anyway, unless you're looking for a world of hurt, I guess. But it's really, really nice. It's warm. I don't know how you are with vodka, but it's sort of like somewhere between. I always say that the difference between Slavic vodkas and Nordic vodkas are Slavic vodkas, Russian, Ukrainian, etc., are warmer and spicier and angrier, but they hit you in the head like a fucking ton of bricks. Whereas I liken a Nordic vodka, like say Absolute, as a smiling siren, or it's like you take a sip and it's like, oh, this is warm, and then, you know, as a siren, she grows horns and gives you that evil smile with the fire, and then you get this awful fucking pain if you don't respect the Nordic stuff. It's somewhere between. Yeah, vodka is hot and dry. Slavic vodka is, I would say, more hot and dry. So Smirnoff. I particularly like Russian Standard. That's my favorite go-to vodka. Good luck finding it now with the war and everything. But you've probably had Nordic vodkas, right? Like you've had Absolute and those kinds of vodkas. They are, I would say those are dry, but they kind of have a bit more of a ramp. I would say that Nordic vodkas have a little bit more of a ramp to them. But if you chug it, oh, you're gonna fucking pay for it. Maybe it's just me and my body chemistry. Like with the Russian stuff, it's like, okay, you know, you want Russian vodka, you take vodka, you take, you know, take belt back like man, take vodka, you know, quarter Russian, you will take. Whereas the Nordic stuff is like a syrup, and it goes down, you feel warm, and you're like, oh, this is nice and whatever. This is nice and comfortable and whatever. And then you have another one, and I'm like, oh, this warm fire in the belly is really nice. And then you have another one, and then you start getting that slight pin, like headache in your temples, and it's like, oh, but it's so warm and it's so nice. And then you have another one, and then it feels like a fucking band clamped around your head, and then before you know it, you're like, oh, this is awful. And if you have too much of it, the hangover of the Nordic ones is like, holy fuck. Yeah, dry would have a chalky taste, which Russian Standard would have. So you would get that chalk with like a Russian Standard or something like that. I've only had a bottle of hockey vodka one. Oh, no, you want to have the good stuff. What was the kind of vodka that you had? Yes, hello, Zero. Do you want attention? Is that what you want? We interrupt this interlude to provide you with Asian pussy. Here you go. Asian pussy. Hello. Yeah, Daddy is trying to waste his Friday evening in a fun way. Yeah, hello. Hello. Hi. Would you? Yeah, you want to have... You don't have to spend an arm and a leg on a decent vodka or anything. Oh, Hawkeye's terrible. Hawkeye's terrible. Don't use Hawkeye. Don't use Hawkeye as an arbiter of what a vodka should be. I mean, it's better than a cleaning vodka. I actually use vodka to clean my geese. It's actually very, very effective as a cleaning agent. It knocks the smell right out because it evaporates and everything. Yeah, you said it, Zero. Hawkeye is not good. If you want a decent, okay vodka that's not going to break the bank, okay, Zero. Yeah, you're not. You can't play. Your paws are too small. If you want a decent vodka that is okay but isn't going to break the bank, Russian Standard. That's my personal favorite. It's not like a crazy, but it's a good vodka. Yeah. So Russian Standard is good. You might have a bitch of a time trying to find it because of the tariffs. Smirnoff, well, everybody knows, but it's not bad. It's okay. Any Ukrainian vodka is good generally. Any Russian vodka for the most part is okay. But if you can get Russian Standard, Smirnoff, Russian brewed Smirnoff, not And there's really amazing Ukrainian vodka. Actually, one of the nice things about Saskatchewan is I don't actually have to import vodka because there's a very large Ukrainian population. So they make a lot of local vodkas here that are just absolutely fantastic. Actually, one of my favorites is the Alibi, but I don't think they export that one. Svedka berry is not bad. If you can get a straight Svedka, that's not bad. That's not bad. Try and get a straight one. It depends where you go. But it's not bad. It counts. I might argue that Svedka berry is more of a vodka cooler. But it's strong enough that you could argue that it's not a cooler. But when I'm talking about vodka, you want something decent and straight. Vodka can be served cool, very cool. You can super cool it. This is like 40%, right? So it's got a lot of alcohol in it. But the coolers are okay. And generally vodka works with fruity stuff anyway, like orange, lime, berries, that sort of thing, right? I mean, vodka. This is why a screwdriver is typically made with vodka, right? Because it mixes with the orange juice. It works well with citrusy type things, I would say. But if you can get a straight shot, proper Slavic vodka, Russian standard if you can find it, Svedka, that is a straight Svedka vodka is good. Not one with very, but it is nice. It's actually fairly decent. And Russian standard, but you're gonna have a really difficult time trying to get. You're gonna have a difficult time trying to get Russian standard with the tariffs. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna have one more drink and I'm gonna come right back, I think. And then I'll start playing this again. But yeah, I would say. Have you had Absolute? Have you had any Nordic vodkas like Swedish, Finnish, Norwegian, like any Scandinavian vodkas? Cuz it's totally different. Hello, doggy. Are you being a good boy? Are you being a good boy? Are you sitting here wagging your tail? Or are you sitting here wagging your tail? Yeah, I would recommend that if you want to get a good example of vodka. Hello, doggy. Hello, doggy. The dog and his big fucking nose. Hello, Zero. I have sort of a wide assortment of fuzzy things here. Hello, fuzzy thing. Are you being a good boy? What do you want? I have sort of fuzzy things here. Are you a fuzzy thing? No. Whoa! 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 Tilk, what are you doing, bud? You're gonna knock over my controller and my whole fucking setup here, bud. Not cool. Not cool. Yeah, so you should find what the fuck was I saying? Yeah, so Absolute is a good Nordic vodka. It's Swedish. You should have no problems finding that. You'll find that anywhere. You'll find that at Trader Joe's. You'll find that at any half-decent liquor store. It's not precious. You'll have no problems finding that in the Midwest. But I would have a Nordic vodka, straight, and I would have a Russian vodka. Do not have them one after the other. Change it up, like one day have a Nordic vodka and one day have a Slavic vodka, unless you want to basically have the worst fucking hangover in the history of your life. Yeah, Absolute. Except it's just, there's no E. It's just Absolute, but without the E. You'll have no problems finding it. It's really nice. It's smooth. Drink it slow. Drink it slow. Treat it like you're having absinthe. because that stuff will knock you. Russian Standard is good. Russian Standard is my personal favorite go-to vodka. Russian Standard Silver Brewed. But any Russian Standard is good. Anyway, I'm going to get another drink. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I went to get another drink. Like I said, Friday night is my cheat day, and so my intention is to make the most of it. Probably would help if I opened up my drink. That would probably help quite a bit. Bit hard to open up a drink. It's a thing. Lower alcohol level, you have to have more of it to get a buzz. Remember, kids, don't drink and drivvy. I'll try one more of this and maybe I'll play something else. We'll see how we's rocking here. Try this. Press start button. Hello, doggy. Are you being a good boy? Hey, are you being a good boy? Are you being a good boy? So, wah. So it's interesting that I can play as Wolf from Virtua Fighter. How is it that you need to have a yes? Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah. This should be interesting. Of course, the fictitious character is going to wind up getting all the awesome moves. Wolf is a pain in my ass in Virtua Fighter. Not much of a fight being put up by the other guy. There seems to be a rather considerable skill disparity between these two people. I should not be having that much ease dealing with this guy, all things considered, I have to say. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. Beep, 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 beep. Like, he's just picking him up like this is not... There has to be... If it's too hard or too easy on either side, it's not fun. You have to have just enough challenge to... Okay, here we go. Maybe I was whining too early. It's over, beast. Yeah. Come on, man. Hey, that was actually pretty cool. I was wondering, that was actually the same combo in Virtua Fighter. I'm like, I wonder if I can do Wolf's throw from Virtua Fighter in there. And sure enough, I fucking can. That's awesome. That's bitchin'. Currently lost internet on laptop. It's all good, man. I mean, we've all been there. Oh. Super cool. Ah, guy kicked me in the face. In the face. I was doing so well too. What the hell happened? Hello, doggy. Do you have a big nose? Ow, punchy, punchy, punchy. Punchy, punchy, punchy. Yeah, take that, dipshit. My dad turned the Wi-Fi off. Oh, fuck, man. Yep, it only takes one push and then all the internet goes and then that's it. I was doing so well. Okay, I'll take that. That's cool. That's cool. Aw, come on, man. That was bullshit. I might head out for the night. Yeah, no worries. I'm actually probably going to wrap things up pretty soon here myself. I'll be back on Friday as usual, so have a good one. And I'll probably finish up here. I'm probably going to wrap things up as well. It's getting a little late here. It's you know you're getting older when it's about 1, a little after 1 a.m. here. Actually, it'd be pretty late where you are. It'd be probably like what 2 or 3 in the morning or whatever. So it's pretty late. Yeah. All right. Well, have a good night, man. If I don't see you, and yeah, no worries. Yeah, have a good night, and stay safe. This match is not really much of an exhibition match anyway. Pretty cool. But yeah, 2:09. Yeah, so you're exactly 1 hour ahead of me. All right, well, have a good night. I'll be back on Friday anyhow, so if you're around, we'll see you then. Per usual. I think I'm starting to lose my mojo on this anyway. Between the alcohol and the week and all that jazz. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking about bed. Yeah, getting old sucks. The spirit is willing, but... Yeah, you too. Have a good one, man. I lost anyway. That did not go the way I wanted. Could have gone well better. That's better. I'll take it. That's not. You know what? I've had a pretty good run tonight. So yeah. So I think I'm gonna end it there. So thank you for everybody that joined me tonight. I will be back at my usual time next week on Friday at 10 Eastern, 11 Saskatchewan time. Or I don't know, maybe I got that mixed up. Anyway, you know when I usually am online. So have a good one.